Welcome back everyone, I am Psycho Emerald. Today I'm back with another collection tour video. This is my second ever collection tour video. The last one I did was over a year ago, and so it's kind of crazy how much the collection has changed since then, because yeah, I don't even know if I had half of what I have in the collection now back when I recorded that. It shocked me how little I had in the collection back then. Of course I was still happy with it then, but it's just cool to see how much more I have now and how the collection has grown and expanded. For the most part, it's just been expansions of what I already had in that previous video. It's mostly just additions to those collections and those kind of franchises that I like to collect, but there even is a little bit of new stuff that I can't wait to show you guys that I've been getting into recently. So yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking around with me this long. I really was excited about getting this collection tour out there for you guys. I've got some reviews I'm working on as well, so I'm glad you guys are sticking around. I want to say thank you to all you guys for making this video possible, this collection tour video, because I don't know how much I would have collected in the start if it hadn't been for this channel and the reviews and all of that. So thank you guys so much for that. So we're gonna start touring the collection, probably starting with this shelf right behind me, and then we'll go all around the room and check everything else out as well. So let's get started with the collection tour. All right, so starting up here, we've just got some die-cast cars. Not really a main part of the collection, but some of those I got from my grandpa and my grandma, so they're pretty cool. And then we have the Tesseract roleplay item here. It's not turned on, but I mainly got that set for the Loki figure that came with it, but it's still a cool piece to have. We've got some Office Funko Pops right here, the mini ones from the Advent calendar. We have some of these. These are kind of cool to have because I got these before I got really serious into collecting, just some MCU Funkos. Some of them I got as gifts, some of them I bought myself quite a few years ago. Then we got some weird Star Wars stuff. We got some, you know, weird 3 3/4 inch figures that I don't display with the rest of the Star Wars stuff, minifigures, ships. We got some Funko keychains right here, and then we got some more weird little Star Wars stuff, and my first Funko Pop that I got back in 2015, which is Captain Phasma. And here's what I kind of see as the main Funko display. We've got Star-Lord right there. We got Gore the God Butcher. I love the Funko Pops that kind of come with a display base, and that Gore is awesome. And we have the Green Goblin as well. And then my favorite Funko, which is the Yuri Lowenthal Insomniac Games Spider-Man, which is my favorite version of Spider-Man. It's just such a great Funko with the mask taken off, and the sculpt is great too. A couple of No Way Home ones up front. We got the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, 2 great ones as well. Then we got some behind there that you can't see. I think I've got Alexi from Black Widow. I've got a couple of like sequel trilogy Star Wars ones of Rey and Ben Solo. So yeah, there's some more back there that I don't have out front because there's just not room for them. But I like the way this display kind of turned out. And speaking of displays, I like the way they turned out. Here's my Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. I haven't gotten anything for the Five Nights at Freddy's collection in nearly 3 years, but I just love where it's at. I love the original 4 FNAF games and even some of the, you know, next few afterward. Not really a fan of where they're going with the security breach thing, but that's just me. But I just think this display turned out super, super nice with the action figures there and the plushes on the side and the Funko Pops right here. Yeah, I'm really a fan of that. We got a couple other things back there too. But yeah, just really like the way that display turned out. Love that franchise. I think that display turned out really nice. Really like that shelf. So yeah, let's move on to the next shelf. Okay, so here's the next shelf is my DC stuff, and I got some other random stuff that we'll get to later in the lower shelves. Killer Croc from Arkham Asylum, some live action movie Batman figures that I really like. And mainly right here, my holy grail is the 1989 Mezco Toys Batman. Really, really cool. Love the wired cape. I love the material they used for the suit, and the head sculpts that it came with, especially this one, are really, really cool. So yeah, that was a bit expensive, but it was definitely worth it to me to have a definitive representation of Michael Keaton Batman in the collection. I just love Michael Keaton Batman, so yeah, I love that thing. Love the way that pose looks too. I haven't wanted to fiddle with him too much because I don't want to ruin him, but yeah, he definitely looks cool where he is. And then we can move down to more DC Multiverse here. We've got the Todd McFarlane design Batman, which is one of my favorites, if not my favorite. And we have my first DC Multiverse figure right there, which is the Detective Comics one. A couple of other ones. We got Superman, Speeding Bullets Batman. And then we got the Nightfall Batman, which isn't as fun to pose as I had hoped, but he's definitely an iconic look for Batman. So that's gonna be all for DC. I think those shelves both look pretty nice. I still gotta add that guy to it soon, but yeah, now we can move on to Back to the Future, which I haven't added to in a little while, but I love all of these. I love the Back to the Future films. So we've got Biff Tannen right there with the sports almanac in his hand. We got Marty McFly and Doc Brown, the 2 heroes. And then we've got Marty on his hoverboard from 2015. So that's a pretty cool figure as well. And I put one of the boxes back there just to have a little background for him. And then down here, I have this awesome Funko Pop set, Dewback and the Sand Trooper. I just don't have any space for this anywhere else. It just kind of gets a shelf to itself. But yeah, I do really love that set. So yeah, that's going to be just about it there. Let's move on to Marvel Legends. Okay, so here is Marvel Legends, starting with the miscellaneous comic shelf right here. So we've got some X-Men stuff right there in the center. Love that Cyclops and Wolverine. Random figure that I happen to have, Thunderstrike. That was actually my first Marvel Legends, I think. I found him in Walmart, and he's just a cool figure. Don't really know the character, but cool looking figure. I did some reading up on the character though, he seems pretty cool. And then we have Kingpin right there, that's old Toy Biz one. Not very good articulation, but it's a cool looking Kingpin. Got him for a good deal on eBay. And then we have the Spider-Man shelf right there in the front. We have my two favorite Spider-Mans, Miles and Peter from the Insomniac universe. And over here we got some comic book ones. Renew Your Vows is probably my favorite figure. Just super fun to pose, just a classic looking Spider-Man. Spinner Red, Symbiote right there. And of course, right in the center, we have Spider-Man, who I think is Spider-Man, right there. Gotta be front and center. And then we have the No Way Home 3-pack. Amazing set. Love the way it looks on display. Haven't gotten around to doing a review of that. I know I said in the live stream that I would do a review, but I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. I don't know if I will. I probably will eventually, but it's kind of too late to do it while it's, you know, new and relevant, but I might get around to it. We got back there the upgraded suit. Very cool figure. Hoping they do a new one, because it seems like they're teasing. They're doing something with like the box that he kept the spell in No Way Home. So I was thinking maybe they're doing a new upgraded suit. That would be pretty sick. So hopefully they redo that figure, because it's not amazing, but it does fine. Then we have the old integrated suit back there with the Tom Holland head sculpt on it. This one's definitely far superior. So yeah, that's gonna be my Spider-Man shelf. I think it turns out pretty nice. There's definitely room for some more additions to it. So yeah, let's move on down to the MCU display. Okay, so here's the main MCU display, starting up here with the Infinity Saga shelf. We've got Black Panther right there. That is the Legacy Collection release. Is very cool, very well sculpted figure. Really do like that. Gotta have a Black Panther. And then we got Black Widow here from the Black Widow film in her white suit from the Prison Break scene. And then we have Ronin right here, recent addition. Really love that figure. And then we have Thanos back there from the 2-pack that I actually just got today as of recording this. So there's Thanos. And then we have Thor, which is probably my favorite MCU figure right there. The Endgame Fat Thor. Just an amazingly sculpted, amazingly articulated figure. Really love that thing. Then we have the old Iron Man from the Thanos bath right there. And then we have the re-release of it with the new updated paint and colors and head sculpts and all sorts of accessories. That's a really fun figure, and it's great to have just that iconic moment where he snaps his fingers just put right in the front of the display right there. And then we have Cap right there holding Thor's hammer. We got Doctor Strange, great figure. Some Loki stuff. You guys know how much I love Loki, so we've got Sylvie and Loki out front. There's that figure that came with the Tesseract, and then classic Loki, He Who Remains, some WandaVision stuff. Looking forward to the Agatha Harkness to add more to the WandaVision display, but right now it's just WandaVision and Jimmy Woo right there. And then if we come down here, we got What If right here with the zombie Scarlet Witch. What a cool figure that is. Really, really cool. And then we've got the Falcon and Winter Soldier stuff. Really like a lot of this, especially that build figure just looks super cool on display right there. We got the Hawkeye stuff, which that was my favorite of the Disney Plus shows. So it's cool to have the main dynamic duo out front there. We got Steven and Mark right there, Mr. Knight and Moon Knight. And some stuff from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Thought that was an alright movie. People were kind of hating on it. CGI didn't look great, but I thought it was pretty good. And then there's Kraglin. Haven't seen Guardians 3 yet, just thought it was too cool to have a Kraglin figure, especially with the arrow and the fin. So I managed to pick that up. I pre-ordered that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to have that figure. Need to get around to seeing Guardians 3 pretty soon. But yeah, that's going to be it for the MCU display. And of course, you know, Spider-Man and comic display as well. I'm going to be adding new shelves to this hopefully pretty soon, so we can have more space for Spider-Mans and more space for comic stuff, and maybe fit some more MCU stuff, because that's getting pretty crowded too. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Jurassic Park. All right, so here's some Jurassic Park stuff. I still haven't added anything to the Amber collection. Just the same Velociraptor and Pteranodon, but man, that Velociraptor is so good. I still love the sculpt and articulation on that guy so much. Just awesome. But yeah, I definitely want to get some more Amber collection stuff, but they're not releasing it anymore, so that's kind of sad. But what we get instead is stuff like this. It's incredible T-Rex. I think the paint is maybe a little too dark on the markings, but man, is that sculpt great, and articulation. Just a super fun figure. Just love that thing. So yeah, it's definitely cool that they replaced the Amber collection so we can get stuff like that, because there's no way they would have done anything like that in a 6-inch scale. So yeah, really awesome. Then we have the Camp Cretaceous Spino. Not a fan of Camp Cretaceous, but I love this design for the Spinosaurus. Very cool. Then down here we have some more Hammond collection stuff. We've got the Dilophosaurus, which is really overscaled, but still cool. The JP3 Velociraptor, John Hammond, of course, gotta be in the center right there. And then the beautiful Ian Malcolm, just hanging out right there. And then we have the Indoraptor as well. He's kind of dusty. I'm probably gonna have to take a duster to these guys soon. And then we have the very generic Velociraptor Echo figure right there. So that's gonna be the Jurassic Park display. I definitely enjoy collecting Jurassic Park stuff since I love those movies so much, but haven't added much to it recently. Definitely not one of my main collecting adventures, but it's still very cool to have some dinos and some representation of the characters. Let's move on to the second to last one, which is going to be Star Wars, which you're already seeing on the right side of the screen here. So yeah, let's move on to that. So starting up here, we got the retro collection stuff. Luke and Leia from A New Hope. We got the whole first wave here, actually, of the New Hope figures. It's cool that they re-released those, but then we got kind of silly stuff like this. I kind of like these, but I'm definitely not going to be buying more because I'm not really a fan of the way they do the retro stuff for the new characters. It's just not really my thing. It just seems kind of cheap and weird and silly. Definitely not worth it in my opinion, but we do have the Luke Skywalker classic figure. Gotta love that, with his lightsaber there, which I never had when I was a little kid playing with this guy, but we got the re-release of the retro Luke Skywalker right there, which is really cool. Got a nice card back. It's even got the 40th anniversary logo up there, which is really cool. There's some cool stuff right there for retro collection. Thought I'd get the carded stuff out of the way, and we can move on to the 3 3/4 inch loose shelf. Okay, so down here we have the loose 3 3/4 inch figures. So we're gonna start over here. We got like a Sith Trooper, we got Boba Fett from the Book of Boba Fett, we got the A New Hope Stormtrooper, Cassian Andor, Reva, the Star Killer, which I got recently. We got what is one of my favorite figures of all time right there, the Dark Times Darth Vader from Kenobi, really cool. Some more stuff, and we got Obi-Wan right there, Captain Rex, Darth Maul, the specialty wave right there, with Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, and his arm's doing okay, thanks for asking. Then we got the Andor Clone Trooper, Phantom Menace stuff, the Jake Lloyd Anakin right there. We've got some older stuff back here. I really enjoy like the old Phantom Menace stuff. I think it's really cool. They're not the greatest figures by today's standards, but I think they still hold up pretty well. Like that Obi-Wan still looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm definitely happy to have some of those to fill out some of the Phantom Menace display. So yeah, that's gonna be it for 3 3/4 inch. I'm definitely also, when I get that new set of shelves, gonna make this much bigger, probably like at least twice as much space here for 3 3/4 inch stuff, since that's just so crowded now. I do like the black shelf though. I do think it looks pretty slick. I did end up painting that myself because it was this weird gray color before I got to it, but yeah, definitely gonna need more space for 3 3/4 inch. I'm also gonna need more space for the next collection we're gonna be talking about, which is the 6-inch Black Series collection. So let's move on to that. All right, so here's the biggest of all my collections, at least as far as I know. I don't think Marvel Legends has surpassed it yet. We have the 6-inch Star Wars, the Black Series. And yeah, I've added risers to this. I've done a lot of different stuff, and it looks completely different from what it used to look like last time I did a collection tour. So yeah, let's check this out. So we've got some stuff on the sides just to kind of fill those spaces. Some Black Series figures I don't love, some 3 3/4 inch ones that just don't stand up very well. And we got some Black Series droids. So we got BD1 and B2 right there, because you wouldn't be able to see them on the risers, but we can still display them, of course. And then over there, yeah, we've got some Star Wars trinkets. This was given to me by my sister, the Darth Vader pop-up lollipop thing. It's pretty fun. I actually like it quite a bit, so I like having it there. And then we have the Black Series collection. So let's start here. We got some prequel stuff, which is probably my favorite era of Star Wars. So we've got Qui-Gon and Count Dooku, 2 great figures, some Attack of the Clones stuff, some Clone Wars stuff as well. That Captain Rex is definitely a grail piece in the collection, very hard to find now. I managed to get that for 50 bucks, so that's pretty cool. Some more Clone Troopers, and then we got probably like not the greatest figures, but possibly just my personal favorites in the collection, like not figure wise, but every time I look at these, I'm just filled with joy. These are just my 2 favorite characters from one of my favorite movies ever made. it's just really special to have these represented in the collection, even if they aren't the best figures. I just love those. So we got Obi-Wan and Anakin from Revenge of the Sith. That Anakin's also another Grail piece. I paid like 70 bucks for him, but definitely worth it because I just, yeah, feel very happy every time I see that thing on the shelf. Some more prequel stuff, Clone Wars stuff. We got Clone Wars Maul, great figure. And then Ayla and Bly. Bly was my #1 favorite for quite a while. Bad Batch stuff, Kenobi stuff. Jabim Obi-Wan from the Obi-Wan series is new, so that one's cool. That Cal is one of my favorites, even though I haven't gotten around to playing Jedi Survivor yet. Malak is a special one since he was my first figure in the collection, just because I knew about the Black Series, wanted to start collecting it. And Malak was the only one I found in the store, but I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. It's the guy from Solo, so I'm pretty excited to have that one when I first got it, and it's definitely special to still have it in the collection. And then we have some Andor stuff. Absolutely loved the Andor series, so I'm hoping to get pretty much everything they've released for Andor, maybe minus like some of the troopers. I'm not as interested in like the officers and the troopers. So yeah, we have Andor and Luthen, and then we have Vel right there with her AK-47. And we got probably my favorite one is the Cassian from the Aldhani mission. I hope we get that whole crew. That'd be really cool to have all 4 of those guys on here. Nemec and Skeen and Terramin. It'd be cool to have all 4 of those guys lined up on the shelf together in their Aldhani disguises, their Imperial officer disguises. That would be pretty cool. But anyway, then we got another one of my first ones, which is Yavin Ceremony Luke. Some Cantina stuff. Now we got Empire Strikes Back here, the Hoth stuff, Bounty Hunters, Boba Fett right there. And then we have Lando from Empire Strikes Back. We have a recent acquisition, somewhat recent. Chewbacca from Return of the Jedi with the chain from the beginning at Jabba's palace. Main cast right here, definitely another great set to have. This is my only Leia so far, which is definitely something I want to change, but we have Han and Luke right there. That Luke is actually from Mando, but I use him as my Return of the Jedi Luke just because he needs to be on the Return of the Jedi section for sure. And yeah, it is just a Return of the Jedi Luke, and they kind of just threw a cloak on it and called it a Mandalorian Luke, but yeah, it's cool. Then we got Boba Fett, which is another one of my favorites. It's a great one. And recent acquisition one I plan on doing a review for, which is the Endor Rebel Trooper. I don't usually army build, but the fact that you could turn these into basically 2 different figures by switching some of the pieces around and having different faces, it was very exciting to me to have 2 of these. They were kind of overpriced, but still cool to have 2, so I'm pretty happy about that. We got a Stormtrooper right there, which I hear are pretty hard to find now, but I got mine off Big Bad Toy Store when they were in stock. And we have Grogu and Mando. That helmet is not coming off because if you guys are familiar with this pack, you know what waits for you under that helmet. It's not pleasant. And then we got Migs, amazing figure. Bo-Katan and Koska. Face on Bo-Katan isn't great, but I want to have one of them without the helmet, so I chose her. Ahsoka is a really cool one as well. That Boba Fett is great. Got that one from Star Action Figures in the UK. That's the only figure I've ever ordered from overseas, so that's pretty cool. And then we have some Stormtroopers, and definitely the best Black Series figure, which was my #1 on my list, is Dark Trooper. Like, it's just crazy to me that this figure is as good as it is. It's just amazing. The only problem I've had is like the loose ankles. Sometimes it wants to try to fall over, but not a big deal. Redeemed Darth Vader. We've also got Bastila, which is a pretty recent acquisition as well, and some sequel trilogy stuff there as well with Han and Kylo. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the Black Series. It's definitely my favorite of my collection just because of how much I love Star Wars and how cool these figures are. It's really cool to have them on the risers right in the middle of the dresser to see whenever I'm in here. So I hope you guys liked that, but we've got one more to do, just a real quick one. So this is pretty much the end. Just gonna real quick show you guys one more thing that I've been getting into collecting recently that I'm pretty excited about. So let me show you guys that and then we'll finish off the video. All right, so you guys might not guess what it is. But here we have my Pixar display. So I absolutely love Pixar. I think they've made some of the greatest films of all time. And so having those characters represented up here from these movies I've loved since I was just a tiny little kid, just amazing. And of course, some modern stuff that I love as well. So we've got this poster I got from Box Lunch. I don't know if you guys know that store, but I bought that. It was on sale. Thought it was pretty cool. It would be a pretty cool piece to have in the room. And then we have Mike and Celia from Monsters Inc., which is a great film, and these are great. These are from the Featured Favorites line, which Justin from Out of the Basement kind of got me into because he was posting in the Discord stuff that he's been buying. It was kind of a little side side thing he's been getting into, and I thought those look really cool. And then I discovered the Spotlight series. So we have Mr. Incredible right here, which is an incredible figure. In hand, when you hold it, it feels a little hollow and cheap, but he has amazing articulation and he just looks pretty much perfect. Incredibles is definitely my favorite Pixar film, so it's great to have that guy right there. I really hope that they get around to doing some sort of Syndrome figure, because he's my favorite character. So that would be really cool to have, but for right now I'm real happy to just have Bob right there. Just a great figure. I'd highly recommend it to you guys. And then over here we got some Lightyear stuff. I absolutely love Lightyear. So we've got Buzz right there holding socks, great figure. That's technically Spotlight series, and this is Izzy Hawthorne in her Juniors at Patrol outfit. So that's Alpha class, but technically the Spotlight series Buzz is just a re-release of the Alpha class with some improved things and added accessories and such. But it's, yeah, really cool figure. Glad to have some Lightyear stuff there. Hoping to get some stuff from Toy Story maybe. I haven't gotten around to grabbing any, but the Bandai model kit Woody would be pretty cool. I just haven't really mustered up the courage to try to put that thing together yet, or buy it even. So yeah, that's just my little Pixar display. I kind of had a lot to say about everything up there, but that's just something I've been kind of getting into just because I love Pixar stuff. So I wanted to have some of that represented in the collection. So that's going to just about wrap it up for the collection tour. Let me cut back to just me and we can wrap up the video. Okay, so that's going to just about wrap it up for the collection tour. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end, unless, of course, you just skip to the end, in which case, screw you! Just kidding, of course. I appreciate everyone who watches the video, even if you did skip to the end, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. If you like action figure content, particularly Marvel Legends and Black Series reviews, I do a lot of that on my channel, so if that's something you're interested in, please consider subscribing in order to join the army of the Knights of Mischief. I appreciate every one of you who has done so far. It really means a lot to me, and thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hope you guys found it enjoyable, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye! Get out of here! Go away! Why are you still here?